man, that is the definition of daddy issues. Wow. Guys, we're back with another SCP video. SCP Serpent's Hand. Hopefully you guys will enjoy this one. I am actually kind of excited to see the other organizations in the SCP world. So let's just like nosedive right in, just cush splash and, you know, watch it.
Nowhere is more secure than an SCP Foundation facility. They make Fort Knox look like a revolving
That building's been eating its proteins.
Door with a spare key under the mat. That's why when someone or something can infiltrate without even being noticed.
I'm not sure a spare key under your mat is particularly secure. If I was ever going to try and break and enter into a building, that's probably the first place I would look, alongside, you know, plant pots. Really, really not a good place to hide your shit anymore. I'm coming for you. I'll break into the SCP myself.
It's considered a major threat, and doing exactly that is what put a mysterious group of insurgents known as the Serpent's Hand on the map.
Wait, was that a gun?
This group of
You just pointing guns at people? Okay.
Interest isn't just famous for its ability to sneak into Foundation's strongholds. Like a lot of the SCP Foundation's biggest threats, from the Scarlet King to the Chaos Insurgency, the roots of the Serpent's Hand are closer than they think. The Foundation's first official brush with the Serpent's Hand came shortly after they contained SCP-268,
it's a hat.
an Irish tweed wool newsboy cap believed to have been created sometime in the 1800s.
Very
The
cute
only
there.
identifying mark on the cap is a label with the following phrase written in Middle Irish: "The garden is the serpent's place." And
Sounds like Adam and Eve.
initially believed to be a reference to the serpent in the biblical Garden of Eden. This Euclid class
We talk about Adam's serpent or the garden serpent?
SCP is a double-edged sword. It gives the user a useful supernatural ability at a terrifying supernatural cost.
Wait,
Anyone wearing the cap appears so utterly unremarkable that nobody is able to take notice of them. And when they leave a person's general area of awareness, they're quickly forgotten. The user isn't invisible, but they might as well be. If you're a person who's
oh my god! It's Kuroko from Kuroko no Basket. They're so unremarkable, they're literally not seen. He's the Phantom Sixth member.
line of work involves sneaking and subterfuge, or if you're just a major introvert, this sounds like a dream come true. However, like a lot of anomalies, this dream can quickly become a nightmare. If someone wears the cap repeatedly, or for too long at one time, they risk the effects of the cap becoming permanent, even when it's removed. You can become a forgotten person, impossible to notice and remember, even to those closest to you. Why anyone would want such...
They left him and his groceries behind. What I don't get is like, why would they leave the groceries behind? They may have forgotten him, but why would they leave that food? Did they just let him kind of just be a floating bag of groceries? No, that's okay. Just leave it behind. It's possessed. Where's my space bar?
Such a fate is a mystery, so it came as a surprise to the Foundation when the hat suddenly disappeared from secure containment, replaced by a note reading, "Thanks, I needed my hat back, LS." Who was this mysterious LS? And was the
maybe his
anomaly
effects are
truly
now
theirs prior
permanent.
to containment? Scientists, security officials, and administrators hoped this would be an isolated incident, but LS was far from done. And even worse for the Foundation, LS was now armed with a perfect anomalous tool to make their next containment breach even smoother. The next incident was known as Security Breach Incident X-23.
I wonder
and
how
was
they make
committed
these numbers
against the
up.
extremely valuable Site-19, the largest Foundation site there is. Most humiliating of all
Site 19. Okay, I might have to check that one out sometime.
for the Foundation security team working there. Security footage indicated that LS simply strolled into the base without being noticed.
I want this superpower so badly. I don't like talking to people in real life. I really don't. I hate real life people. I like computerized. You know, if I can look at you through a screen, golden. If I have to talk to you in real life, I'm not about that life. I want this hat. I would take the permanent effects gladly any day of the week. Sign me up.
P-268 was working wonders. This time LS had a new target, SCP-914, an anomalous machine also known as the Clockworks. This machine, originally tested by the famously emotionalist Dr. Charles Gears, has the ability to refine any object placed into its chambers into a greater
Not the
version
monkey.
of their original selves, often with strange and anomalous results.
Wait a minute.
You can probably see why someone wanting to
Okay,
utilize anomalies
I didn't expect that to happen. I do apologize.
for their own gain would take such a keen interest in this one. LS breezed past the guards, inexplicably destroyed the file for SCP-407, a taped song that causes unchecked cellular growth, and made their way towards 914. Unfortunately, a researcher who was working on 914 was murdered by LS during the breach. We have no idea what they did with 914. Perhaps they refined 268 to act as an even more effective stealth tool, without its unpleasant side effects. Maybe they made the daring move of refining themselves. We'll never know. All we do know is that this time, LS left a letter. It was long, rambling, and philosophical, with no
He's one of those people. One of those. Come on, if you're going to murder someone, just leave like a fancy little calling card or something. No one wants to read a paragraph or an essay. This isn't school. You're not getting an education.
incriminating
Just move
information that could be used to identify the mysterious figure. They signed off the letter with, "I leave you with one final truth. The garden is the serpent's place. The divinities of fear and order who come to walk in the cool evening air are only visitors.
Ah, yes, I too
Do not
read.
fail to see the evil hiding in the light, nor the aromatic beauty of the palest flower of darkness. Signed sincerely, LS."
That's how I get to sleep at
These
night.
repeated references to the Serpent clued the Foundation in on the affiliation of this new troublemaker, a growing group of interest named the Serpent's Hand. But really, who are the Serpent's Hand? What do they want? What is their connection to other active groups of interest, like the Chaos Insurgency and the Global Occult Coalition? And was this mysterious
Okay, someone keeps saying in chat about the Global Occult Coalition. I feel like I have to do some research into it now because it's kind of making me curious. I want to know what it's about.
LS figure the leader of the group, or just another agent? These were all the questions on the minds of the Foundation's best and brightest tactical thinkers, but the answers didn't come easy. During the Serpent's Hand's investigations, the Foundation found an unlikely ally in what is usually one of their biggest opponents, the Global Occult Coalition. The GOC had dealt with the Serpent's Hand before and understood their central philosophy, whereas the Foundation
Who
and
is the
GOC were both
GOC?
committed to acting in secret and maintaining a sense of normality. The Serpent's Hand wanted the exact opposite. They wanted to destroy the secrecy around the anomalous and supernatural and reveal the existence of it all to the general public. While the Foundation and the GOC think this is crazy, the Serpent's Hand aren't just insane architects who want to unleash chaos across the world. In fact, they actually have some pretty interesting points. The Serpent's Hand acknowledges that the supernatural can be dangerous, but much like natural disasters and crime, will the public benefit from not knowing about them? Members
You know what? These guys remind me of the SCP I literally did a couple weeks ago about peace and how they were all public with the SCPs, and because of it, the public was fine with it.
of the Serpent's
So I can
Hand also
kind of
fight for the rights of
I'm with
non-violent
Serpent's Hand
anomalous
side.
entities, particularly sentient and sapient beings. They find the Foundation's habit of containing them and the GOC's habit of killing them barbaric, and will openly use and collaborate with anomalies to further their goals. Like how LS is a keen operator of 268 for their infiltration missions. At least 177 individuals belonging to the Serpent's Hand have been
I'm with
identified,
Team
many
Serpent.
of which who have actively performed raids on Foundation sites across the globe. It was a mystery to the Foundation how such a small number of members could run rings around them, and seemingly be everywhere at once, until a revelation was delivered by the Global Occult Coalition. The Serpent's Hand have an informal headquarters in an anomalous location known as the Wanderer's Library, an ancient and seemingly limitless archive containing every book from every dimension in the multiverse. This
What?
location
Excuse
exists
me? We getting into multiverse levels now? Huh? Doctor Strange gonna pop up sometime?
outside of space and time, and can be accessed through a global network of interdimensional portals known as the Ways. Like
That's
a
pretty cool.
supernatural guerrilla soldier, Members of the Serpent's Hand would exit from one of the ways, raid a Foundation or GOC site, and then escape back into another one of the ways, using the Wanderer's Library as a safe zone. The library was a convenient way to access and steal from sites worldwide with impunity, increasing their stock of anomalous items and beings.
It's Mjolnir! Oh my god, they're really bringing on the Avengers, aren't they? I know it's not actually Mjolnir,
Each
but...
time. While performing raids and stealing anomalies feel like textbook Chaos Insurgency behavior, the Serpent's Hand have an extremely frosty relationship with the Insurgency too,
Oh, yes.
often seeing
That's how I high-five people as well. Hello.
them as greedy, erratic, and short-sighted. The Serpent's Hand has a series of catchy nicknames for its various foes. It refers to the Foundation as the Jailers, the GOC as the Bookburners, and the Chaos Insurgency as the Madmen. The Foundation
There's
even
some
formed a
pretty cool
new
nicknames.
task force known as the Bookworms, explicitly
The bookworms. So they went from book burning to bookworming. Yeah, sure. Why burn the books when we can just eat them, right?
for Serpent's Hand
I also didn't know that bookworms were a legitimate creature as well.
related missions. While the Foundation has engaged in a number of raids and skirmishes on the Serpent's Hand since their feud began, they've never been able to gather any information about who gives the orders. Only the Global Occult Coalition have been able to successfully perform a raid on the Wanderer's Library, an act that was extremely difficult and costly. It also earned the GOC a spot as the Serpent's Hand's public enemy #1. A role the Foundation isn't eager to take from them. With the unlimited knowledge present in the Wanderer's Library and the mysterious nature of their command structure, this group manages to be a formidable enemy for the Foundation despite its small size.
Honestly, I am with the Serpent's Hand. Maybe I'm a bad guy, but I'm with the I agree. Sign me up. I'm Team Serpent, okay? I think letting the public know is a very good idea. I don't understand why they're keeping it all hush-hush, especially when there's beneficial SCPs. I can understand them telling the public, but still keeping the bad SCPs locked up, but like, I'm Team Serpent.
What the Foundation doesn't know is that there actually is no command structure for the Serpent's Hand. They're a decentralized group of splinter cells and lone wolves acting out a philosophy rather than a specific mission. This way of working is so alien to the highly regimented structures of the Foundation and the GOC.
Oh my god, individuality! Heaven forbid.
It's no surprise that they're stumped by it. This still leaves us with one more question central to the whole mystery. If not the leader of this organization, who exactly is LS? To answer this, we must return once more to Dr. Charles Ogden Gears, the cold and robotic Foundation scientist in charge of SCP-914 research. If all the ways Dr. Gears has
Why does he look so weird? What is... Like, I know the animation is... You know, it is what it is, but...
It is what it is. It is what it is.
Like, why does he look like a Neanderthal? Is he
been
supposed
described
to?
so far has made you think he wouldn't be a particularly warm and loving father, you'd be absolutely
Oh no, that's one of his ears.
Just ask
oh
his
my
estranged daughter, Allison Chow. Allison never forgave Gears for abandoning her and her mother,
What's
and
his
she
ear?
now does everything she can to get revenge on him and his precious Foundation. But here's the problem. The Gears of this dimension is not the only one who has a child with an axe to grind. Gears has been a deadbeat dad in a number of dimensions. So much so that these disgruntled daughters converge in the Wanderer's Library to plot their revenge across
No.
dimensions together. This collective of Allison Chows, sometimes believed to just be one Allison,
No.
is known to the Foundation as the Black Queen. However, they themselves more commonly refer to their daughter support group turned terrorist organization as the Little Sisters, or, if you'd prefer, the abbreviation LS. While the Serpent's Hand has no leader, the Little Sisters are some
Wait a minute. So this guy got hanky-panky in multiple universes. How though? Oh my god, so all of his daughters from all the universes have joined together to... Man, that is the definition of daddy issues. Wow.
of its most devoted and dangerous warriors. They're intelligent, coordinated, and, due to their obsession with Dr. Gears, personally invested in
Yep.
hitting the Foundation where it hurts. After all, That's what the Serpent's
Big
Hand
daddy
is
issues.
all about. Striking out against the oppressors who keep a stranglehold on the truth, throwing off the chains imposed by the Foundation, and the violence visited upon anomalies by the Global Occult Coalition. If the Serpent's Hand gets their way, one day there may be a glorious world where humans and anomalies
cup of joe.
knowingly coexist. It is a nice thing to imagine, utopian even. But the Foundation's greatest concern about the Serpent's Hand isn't that they're evil, it is that they're naive. While the Serpent's Hand don't wish to usher in the apocalypse, it doesn't mean they won't by complete accident. Their kindness and understanding towards anomalies may one day make them a perfect band of useful idiots for an entity with far darker intentions.
I feel like I need
And
to
one
read
day,
about that guy,
they
the
may just
Crimson
release
God.
something that would really be better locked away. Now go check out SCP Chaos Insurgency Explained
Yeah, I need
and
to watch this one.
SCP-001, which is the real SCP-001, for more deep lore
might-
from the world of the SCP Foundation.
I might have to watch that one. So basically, this dude got hanky-panky and all of his daughters banded together to sort out their daddy issues in a kind of therapy terrorist group. It sounds worse when you say it out loud. But that was quite an interesting one. I'm surprised, to be honest. Surprised is... It kind of lost some brownie points for me when I found out what it was. I don't know, the whole, like, multiple women, all the same lady, trying to avenge their relationship that they lost with their dad, yada, 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 across all the... It was really cool up until that point. It kind of lost me when it hit that scene. I'm a little disappointed. I'll give that, like, a solid, like, 6.5 out of 10 on the SCP coolness scale. It would have been more like a 7 or an 8, but it lost a little bit of points. I'm not too superimposed about the multiple Lisas standing up against their fathers kind of thing. And they murdered their dad as well. So, like, surely their job is done. They've done what they could do to ruin him. They literally murdered him. What else is there? Where do they go from murder? Really? Prison? I'm probably not, but there, it is what it is. Thanks for watching anyway, guys. I will see you in the next one. Feel free to leave a like or a subscribe and all that other jazz, and I'll see you in the next episode. Have a good evening and peace.